Alrighty, folks. So, what is it? It's about a little after 3 o'clock Thursday. Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year in advance. I'm going to do a part 4 on the B minor. I don't know if this thing shows. This thing is so gorgeous in person, but it doesn't show up in the camera. Anyways, I just put 9s on this last night. My fingers, these times when the hands just get weak, and I took the 9.5 off. Whoop. Oh, the volume was down to 3 on the bridge. So we're going to do part 4 on the B minor. You should learn what your notes are, too. You know, it's simply, if you start at block 1, the standard position that everyone's familiar with, that shape, that's block number, scale, pentatonic position number 1, because it's the first note. If you're doing B minor pentatonic, then the first, that's number 1 block, because you're starting with B. Now, you could, you know, A, G, doesn't matter. Number 1 block, that same shape, whatever key you want to play it out of, that's where you'd start. So, and then the number 2 block would be starting with the second note. There's 5 notes in any pentatonic. That's what penta means. 5 tones, 5 notes. So all this stuff on the fretboard we're going to do today is only 5 notes, all of it. So you got, when you start with number 1, you're starting with a B, and then it's going to a D, then an E, then an F sharp, and then an A. That's it. Then you continue up, it repeats. B, D, F, E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A. And if we start like I did it in the previous video, started with the E, because there is an E in the B minor pentatonic, and then we continued up the same notes. E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp. That's what you can get at right here in that open block. And then we started with the F sharp and we went up the same notes, repeating the same thing. F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A. So those are the name of your notes, and all these blocks that we went over, that's all it is. It's those 5 notes. And if you start, like, and it's the same way with diatonic scales. Diatonic means your full do, re, mi. There's 7 notes. You know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And then you hit the 8th note, you're starting another do, an octave up. So, so back to the pentatonic. And I went over yesterday kind of, you know, doing these things in different counts, like a 5 count, 6 count. And doing it in all the blocks. And another thing that's good to do is always, whatever key you're doing these, once you get these down and you recognize what the shape is from one to the next, you play them enough. If you sat down and played just that one block 100 times, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. You'd be done in just a few minutes. And you just did it until you got it embedded in you. You'd get to where you just remember these shapes, and you also get to where you can play them almost I can play them without looking when I'm in a zone and I've been playing and warmed up, you know, when I used to play on a regular basis. I'd play with, I didn't have to look. I would just maybe for the first note, quick, you know, if I was going to move and emphasize, starting with an A note. Anyways, now what I want to go over, and I also talked about the 5 count. Whoop. And then also pull off stuff with them. Just all these different variations. And what was the other thing I meant to throw in there? And there's also a 4 count. I never do it, but you just do 4 notes. Just going 4 notes, going back to another 5 count would be starting with a note and going down 5 notes. Then going back to the second note that you played and continue to do that same thing. So it'd be... So there's all these things, and then again the 3 note pattern. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then there's hammer and pull off 1, 2, 3. But on this one, no, this is a 4. I'm sorry. Never mind all that. This is what I wanted to do today. I wanted to, once you've got them blocks down and you start doing like patterns with either a 5 count or a 6 count or whatever, let's do a 5 count plus a root note. So starting here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a root note. So these are like riff possibilities. They're a possible little piece of a phrase you might utilize and add, add some other stuff to it. And then do it all the way up for those notes in that B minor block. So on this one you could either go, so it's 6 notes, but you're emphasizing the first 5, da 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 da, and then nailing that 6th note, making sure it's a root note no matter what. So you could go, and then same thing here. And I would do pull off and pick them all. So on that one you do the high note or the low root note. And then, so that kind of thing, and then do just a total of 5, like a 4 and a root. That kind of thing. And that kind of thing too. Just get a pattern of any kind of count and do that same one at the bottom 2 strings or 3 strings of all the B minor, that part of the B minor pentatonic blocks. You know, you get them going. And another thing to do when you pick up the guitar, once you've got these things decent, is, you know, forget this low one here. I don't ever play that whole thing like that. But start here at this one and do stuff like this. And watch the fingering that I'm using. I'm using the fingering that I talked about earlier on in the other episodes. Then I'm sliding that baby finger up and then descending. What? Now here, when I slide up, I'm switching out the middle finger for the pointing finger. And then here, I'm sliding the baby finger up. Now I'm leaving that middle finger here and sliding up to the E note, and now here I'm switching out this finger with the baby finger here. And then I get up in here and I start just using the first and third finger. You want to include, this is about training that baby finger. When you go off and solo and create phrases, there's no law. Use the fingers that works best for you. But my reason, I just dropped that pick. The reason for doing this fingering is it's going to start showing up in all of your phrasing in certain ways. You're going to start doing, add to the phrasing you already have, because now you've got that baby finger a little bit awake. Like I said, I use it heavily when I'm soloing, and say if I'm up in a high spot, say we'll stay in B minor. So I'll do that kind of thing. You know, I use it a lot when I do those kind of things, you know. So if you yeah, just do these. Use the fingering I taught in the previous things there. What? I go to the 1 and 3 when I get up in here because there just ain't no room. Now these are brand new strings. I just put these on about 11 o'clock last night watching a rerun football game. I'll watch an old rerun football game or whatever whatever game is on, it doesn't matter the team. It's mindless to me, it's just something to look at, but whenever I sit and work on something on the guitar, but last night I took the 9.5s off, oiled the fretboard and put on the 9s. The only downside with the 9s, the other ones are more stable. Obviously, you all know that the heavier the strings, the more stable, you know. I'm going to put the gain down to about 1/4. Let's see what that sounds like. Why's that A sound out? I may end up going back to the heavier strings. That's the downside with nines. And this has got a little bit chunky of a neck, meaty neck, so that, oh yeah, the D's down. That's better. Like I said, they're brand new. I just came downstairs now to do this little lesson, so you know what? Put that gain way to hell up even higher. Let's make it nasty. So what else did I want to tell you? So again, about doing just pieces, you know, like so how many notes was that? 1. So 6 plus the root note. So you got. You know, that kind of thing, you know? And then the 2 string start. No. And again, using that baby finger, you can get 3 notes. You can create cool phrasing starting with 3 notes. Like if you're going to play, you want to play with attitude, you don't need to alternate pick. I actually do a lot of down when I want attitude in it. And then if I want to play something a little more slick in there, I might do hammer on pull-off something. That kind of stuff. So, but those things will help you too. That, like I said, they're doing that. And over here, you could do the lower note too. Whatever, any pattern. What I used to do was the focus is deciding on a certain thing and just staying with that and not changing keys and going to all kinds of other shit, because then you never really get anything down. This is called milking, you know, that one key, if you will. And when you get them blocks down in B minor, you can move typically everybody loves A and E, and that's fine. All you do is move all them block shapes 2 frets down. I gotta run. I'm looking at the clock. And so anyways, it's all I'm saying is there's all these little things. You take them each block and you get them down from the earlier videos that I did, and then you start